This episode will focus on the myth behind private jet travels. A lot of people think that private jet travel is for the rich. Can you please bust the bubble?
Okay, thanks for having me here. But I really feel that I don't know if I'm going to be busting any bubbles because it could be quite expensive. But the angle about it is for companies who have large business executives. When you do the maths, it becomes cheaper. Because, for example, if a company was to fly all its executives from maybe South Africa into Kenya, for example, because of the interconnectivity and the layovers, it might be expensive on a business class ticket. But with a private jet, all the business executives are in one place and they're able to fly in a shorter time. That can translate into savings for the company. So basically, it's a mix and match. Not all the time that it's expensive, but it has to be something that has to be properly planned with.
Now, how affordable is private jet travel? Considering the fact that in business, you really want to take all your staff, to a meeting that will bring the dollars and the naira. So I would expect that it's a reasonable move, but how affordable is that?
Okay, so I'll answer the question this way. So we have in private aviation, we have what we call empty legs, meaning an aircraft might be domiciled in airport A and has to drop a passenger in airport B, for example. But that aircraft has to come back to airport A. Now, by the time, so a practical example would be an aircraft flying from London to Paris. That aircraft has to return. So you see cases where aircrafts are flying empty because they've dropped the passenger and they need to come back to base. As operators and as companies that want to maximize profit, what we do is instead of that aircraft flying empty, we give it out at almost 70% discount. So in that case, a private jet becomes affordable. And if you're flying with more people, it then becomes more affordable. So it's a little bit of a mix and match. But the empty legs are one innovation that has made private jets affordable.
So that means must act within the period of time it's available.
Yes, and these come up mostly at short notice. But if you are an aviation enthusiast or someone that follows our private jet companies, we always put out those empty leg deals as soon as we get them. And I can tell you that some very interesting routes will always get off-takers.
Now, what are some of the misconceptions often associated with private jet travels, especially with safety and logistics?
A lot of people will think that private jets are not safe, but there are more stringent rules that are put in place because, for example, they are flying to closer airports. And with the modernization of fleets and all of that, the business aviation, especially private jet operators, have invested a lot in terms of security, in terms of ensuring that the aircrafts are well maintained, instead of ensuring that they're investing in a lot of programs for the aircraft so that we're able to get better results and better output. And I will even say that the private jets have more stringent rules in terms of when it comes to security because of it's a field where you're flying a lot of high net worth individuals. You need to do a lot of work to ensure that they are comfortable, they are safe as they should be. So I will say the private jets are safer in business aviation.
Now, there are some surprising things about private jet travels that many people don't know about. Do you want to share them with us?
Very interesting, and there are quite a lot of interesting things. I mean, people use private jets to transport things like pets, People use to private jets to transport things like very rare artworks. People use private jets to, to go to locations that are not easily accessible. So for me, it's basically having your money well spent and choosing what to do with it.
So, what is the most unexpected factor about air travels? For example, if I want to go and make the best of my movements, my birthday and things like that, and I know that I may not be able to catch a commercial flight, if I take a private jet, will that help me? If I can afford it?
So we got a ton of requests and very, very unique requests, from different types of passengers, because our clientele spans from oil and gas to banking, golfers, footballers. We have such a large array of clients. But the one I think I'll remember vividly was 2 years ago, where a party was happening in Nice, and the family called that they needed a private jet, and I thought they wanted to fly a family member, but they needed to fly a favorite DJ from London, and they needed to get him in before the party. So imagine an aircraft had to position 2 hours away to go to London, pick this passenger, and then fly him to Nice. But the family wanted, this particular DJ. So I've discovered that the rich and famous have different things they want, and sometimes the private jet is now used as a machine to get happiness. If you own a jet, you'll be a happy man.
You see, I think the word is affordability, because you use the phrase rich and famous, all right? And so once you can afford it, you can actually do anything you want. Thank you again for being my guest.
Thank you very much, sir, and always glad to be here.